All right, the first 2019 interview with all the seniors. Corin Evans first. After, hey, this wasn't 2 days. This was 1 a day today, right? How was that?
It was a big relief. We got to sleep in. We got to eat on our own, and we got a great lunch, and now we're here, and I felt really rested.
Okay, so like let everybody know, what does sleep in mean to a 2 a day NCAA volleyball athlete? So what time did you actually wake up this morning?
I actually woke up at like 6, and then I was like, wait, I don't.
That's sleeping in?
Yeah, but then I told myself I can go back to sleep, and so I slept until 8:30.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so 8:30 is sleeping in during 2 days. Okay. All right. I've been in here 3 or 4 days. Kind of give everybody a feel for the energy during practice. I've noticed, like, even these first few days, the energy level seems pretty high in the gym.
Yeah, we have a lot of new personalities on the team, and that they come with a lot of energy. And so it's definitely been feeding on all of us, and they've been feeding off of us. And so whenever the competition gets going, the energy level gets going, there's a lot of people who love to get under each other's skin, so then that creates a lot of more energy. So it's been really fun.
How do you feel like you've kind of been able to prepare both physically and mentally for 2 days since you know it's coming? This is the fourth time for you. And, sometimes you watch freshmen in 2 days and you're like, wow, you can tell. They're like, it's a lot. So how did you feel like you were better prepared starting this preseason?
I just knew what was coming, I feel like, and I knew that I needed to sleep. So I've been going to bed. I've been in bed at least by 8:30 and just sleeping. And then just drinking. I feel like I've been drinking a lot more water and being more intentional because I do sweat a lot, and it is 2 days. And I just kind of expected my body to hurt. I feel like a lot of freshmen come in and they're like, oh my gosh, my body hurts. What's going on? Like, I'm like, they just get nervous and stuff. But I just was prepared, I guess.
So is any of that sort of your best advice to the freshmen or newcomers that have really never maybe experienced this 2 days? Like, I mean, what's some of the things that you guys that have been around more would say to them about, hey, you're going to need to do this. You're going to need to be more intentional, like you say, about these things.
Yeah, I think they just definitely need to take like the nutrition part more seriously and the sleeping part more seriously, and kind of try not to get too caught up in the social life in 2 days as of right now, and just to really, if you can sleep, go to sleep. If you can drink more water, drink more water.
So I want to ask you about the etymology of the nickname Corn. So like at one point, Debbie told me, yeah, we'll just call her Corn. We'll call her Corn Dog. We'll call her anything with corn. So, I mean, was that just to play off the pronunciation of your name, or like when did the Corn start as like the nickname?
I don't, because like my name does look like Corin. And so people, I don't know. I know in high school, like people would just call me Corin, like my close friends. But honestly don't know how it started. I know it started freshman year. Yeah, but I don't know like who started or who like picked up on it.
I couldn't remember if that was a freshman year thing or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really is prevalent now. It's like it's the main on the court name.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Let's go backwards before we go forwards a little bit. Just tell me a little bit in your mind, your memories of being able to walk in there at the gym at Texas during the NCAA tournament. Just that whole experience. All of us were there. That had to have been sort of one of the major highlights of an NCAA athlete's career. But what do you remember most about that travel to the NCAA tournament?
I just remember we were just on cloud nine. Like everyone just wanted to get out there and play for each other. And it was just, I don't know, like they just kind of have like a memorable arena that they played in. Just like the court just felt like so, it was, I don't know, the way the bleachers were, and then all like they have the banners. It was just like, it was just all about like the show on the court. Like it was all about the teams that are playing.
One of the things that really caught me, because it had been a while since I had been at an arena where an NCAA volleyball match, NCAA tournament match was played, was the formality of it all. Blocking out the windows during practice, not allowing you to step on the floor until exactly it was your time. Did you kind of feel all that formalism while we were there?
I honestly didn't. No.
I really, really caught that, I guess. Just they were really sure to like protect each team's time and space. Let me ask you about changing roles during the time you've been here. How do you feel like you've gotten better at accepting that? At sometimes during your career, and even within year, you go from starting to sometimes come off the bench. Playing at various different spots at times in matches. Have you sort of changed how you prepare mentally for what your role might be on the club?
I have really like grown more in like my faith and stuff, and like it's been a rocky road for me, and it hasn't been easy, but it's definitely been I've just become a better person from it, and I feel like I've just found more compassion, and like my goals have like shifted instead of it just kind of like me putting so much pressure on performing and so much pressure on I don't know, just I don't it's been hard, but it's been very rewarding.
One of the things that shocked me a little bit last year when I talked to Mackenzie Hanna was that she admitted to me, she's like, you don't realize that all of us have had times where we've just really felt like it was time to walk away. And that surprised me because I'm thinking, wait, this is a senior that's played here. Have you kind of gone through those times where you just felt like, what am I doing here? And if you have, like, what's kind of kept you propelled to persevere through 4 years of playing at this level?
Yeah, I've definitely been through those like low stages, but I think it's just the team and the environment, and like when I was thinking about it, I was like, I love volleyball. Like I want to go back to playing the volleyball that I love. And like just being like that young stupid love, and like it was just where there was so much energy and there was so much like intensity, and you just were out there and you were just doing everything to play volleyball and get this ball up. And so I just kind of like had to like step back and stop getting caught up in like the publicity part of it, and more of just like playing because I love volleyball.
Do you feel like that's the reason why so many women don't make it through 4 years? Because if you look at the rosters right now of every team that we play, they'll have, depending upon spots, but all those freshmen won't propagate all the way through. I mean, do you ever feel like there are players, I mean, let's not call names, but I mean, do you ever feel like that's part of the reason why some players that you've played with or against don't last 4 years?
Yeah. I definitely think our just the way people think is just like the grass is greener on the other side, and like so they just make a decision, they're upset, they're angry about something, and so they're like, I need to leave, I need to get out of here. But I kind of looked at it in a different way of just like, I'm happy here, I love the people around me, I love Nacogdoches, I love volleyball, like I don't want to have to make another home.
I think all that shows too, just in your demeanor. What do you think the thing is? It doesn't have to be a volleyball skill, but if it is, that's a fine enough answer. What's Corin Evans improved most on during 3 seasons at SFA going into a fourth?
That's a tough question. I would think I improved more on being selfless. I was like coming here, this is like a family. Like Debbie is our like mom. Like she's our mama hen, and like we love her sometimes, we are mad at her other times, but like other than that, like this is just a family, and there's just a bond, and I just think that I've just because in family you have to be selfless. You can't be selfish. And there's a lot of ups and downs, but I think that has been, and like relationships have definitely been something that I've gained.
So again, with all the newcomers, they haven't yet had the experience of both athletics and academics hit them. You're going into a fourth year of having to balance a season in courses, an off season in courses. So what have you done to get better at that, at truly being student athlete? Is there something that you'll do during your senior year academically that you thought, man, I wish I had learned that skill when I was a freshman or sophomore?
I definitely, so like they tell you to study, and so when I first heard that, I was like, what does studying even mean? Like, okay, I'll read my notes. But like what I learned and what I wish I would have known was literally right after you take those notes, like just go straight home, go somewhere and just read over them. You don't have to study, like you don't have to like make flashcards or anything, but I mean you can, but just read over them and just like put that information back into your brain.
Sometimes as faculty, we fail to think about those things. We just assume students know what to do with what when we're done with class. So you talked a little bit about, or we talked a little bit about the propagation of going from being a freshman to a senior. But what's the single most reason why you made it? Is it the family again? Is it just sort of personal grit? You mentioned your faith earlier, but why do you think so many people you've seen leave programs and you're playing and accepting the roles that you get?
I think people give up whenever times get tough. And instead of holding on, they don't and they when they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, they just kind of give up and choose another route. And I just was like, I'm all in. When I told Debbie I was coming here, like I was all in. I never planned on, okay, if I don't play or if this doesn't go, X, Y, and Z doesn't happen, like I already have another option. Like when I told her, I'm a very loyal person. And so like when I tell someone like I'm going to be here and be on your team and play for you, like I'm going to go until I'm done, until my time is over.
Don't you think that actually is hard for some people? I mean, if you go and you look at the background of every one of you, because that's something that's big for people like me right now, is reading the background for 10 newcomers. Every one of you at the club level and high school level was studly. I mean, you went to a large high school and were an MVP twice. Okay, so it's like, do you think that's difficult to sort of put on that selfless mask when you kind of have been the deal at levels lower than this?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. My pride has, like last year was not easy for me. Like there was many times where I was crying and I was just upset, and the things I would think, I felt like internally I felt like I wasn't a good teammate, and so I didn't like the person I was. And I was like, this is my last year. Like whether I'm on the court, I'm on the bench, my attitude is going to change and it's going to be for the better, because I mean, what happens on the court is not going to matter. The accolades that you get are not going to last forever. And so I think I had to really step back and stop putting so much value on those court things and more on the character of my character.
What a great answer that was. So what do you think post SFA? What's the plan for Corin? You got any thoughts about, when the jersey's hung up the last time, when you got the other hat, or walk across the stage at Johnson Coliseum? So what's the plan for future?
I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go back home to Katy, and then I want to teach there, and I want to be a coach. Yeah.
Last question. Let me ask you this about, when you were recruited here. To some of us that were kind of learning who you were, it was mentioned to us, that your mom had come here and that your mom was a dual sport athlete here, still holds some track records here. Now, are you an only child?
No, I have an older half sister and then a younger brother.
All right. So with mom being an athlete, so let me first ask, was it a real competitive childhood? Was athletics a part of everything as you can remember when you were young?
Oh, yeah. And my dad was a big athlete, too. He didn't play in college because he played football, and he was like, I don't want to play anymore. I'm beat up. But, yeah, I still remember we would line up. We had couches, and my dad would, like, stand in the doorway. We would run routes in the house with, like, footballs and dive on the couch. Like, it was that's all we did. Our vacations, everything was, I was at volleyball, or I was at basketball. Like, my whole childhood was sports.
So was it always kind of with mom coming to SFA? Was SFA kind of always in your window, or was your mom not someone who mentioned SFA a lot? So I mean, did she have a huge influence on you wanting to come here, or were you just kind of wind up here?
I just kind of wound up here. She didn't have any influence, but there is one picture when I was younger, and I was in. They had like a what is it? Like it's just like a hat, but it's like a sun hat kind of. It was a sun hat, yeah, and it said Stephen F. Austin, and I was wearing. I was like one. I was wearing it in her arms, and we saw them. We're like, oh my gosh, it was meant to be. But I never had SFA on my radar.
Wow. See, like that photo needs to make it into your senior book or something like that. Wow. Corin Evans, what a great set of testimonies that was to kind of the perseverance. There's so many people that at this level cannot stick it out and play, and Corinne's played for us in all sorts of roles, and certainly will have a big role in whatever capacity we tend to use her. We're a deep team, and Corinne will get her time, and I love to hear what you said about sort of the teammate focus of everything. Well, we're going to 2019. It's going to be hard to beat last year, but we're going to try. 32-3. Corin Evans, thanks for taking the time to sit down and chat.
You're welcome.